what's let me see what, I'm still getting that low volume. I sounded real low to y'all, like extremely low. Let me see what's up with that. Let me know if that sounds a little bit better. Man, I ain't finna fuck with nothing else. Every time I fuck with some shit, it ends up getting broken. Yes, I'm still with my LL Cool J sleeve. So let's talk about it, y'all. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I said the whole thing up. Let me close it up. Welcome to the den, and I'm glad that you guys are here to join me. I ain't fuck with this shit until just the other day. Again, I'm your host, Honcho, and we're doing some things differently now. If you guys didn't get the little thing yesterday, I posted it in the Discord and on the Grab. I don't know if I put it on Twitter. But anyway, so like I said, there's going to be a couple of changes. The dens are going to be day dens now, and then at 9 o'clock, when we would normally be streaming, or in the vicinity of 9 o'clock when we would normally be streaming, then we get the den Discord for community. I mean, the Discord's open all fucking day. I mean, we just had a crazy conversation, hence the topic we're having. But, you know, that's, you know, if people are bored, you want something to do, 9 o'clock is the official meeting time to get in there and get to talking crazy. But it's always somebody in the mix. And then, you know, with the Rona, with everything going, I know it's a lot just going on. So I've been talking about a meet and greet for quite some time, but, you know, rules, hindrances, and all those things going on. We're going to do it digitally. So what we're going to do on the 19th of September, we're going to have a digital meet and greet in the Discord. But the only way you can participate, you're going to have to get on camera. You're going to have to actually participate. You know, it's not like just sitting there with your looking asses. And so I'll set up like a special room, have some things going on for that. We'll have a fun time with that. So if you want to be a part of that, you know, just let me know via Discord or something or wherever, and I'll make sure that you get the proper role and privilege to access that. Aside from that, though, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today: simps and suckers. And do they exist? Or is a nice guy really a simp? I mean, can you be a nice guy and not be a simp? What does simping even mean, right? Because it's gotten to the point now, right now, this is September. There's a thing going on, No Simp September. I don't know if y'all have heard of that. That should be a lifestyle, not just a month, but it's not like some no. This is, you just shouldn't be simping, in my personal opinion. Now, some of you may disagree. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, let's see what we got joining us this afternoon, right? Hold on, what we got? We got some janky jank going on. This, I don't know. I gotta figure out what. I don't know if it's the service I can switch to, because I had the fucking little AT&T. Was actually wasn't giving me these issues, but goddamn, it's always fucking something, right? I don't fucking know. Which is crazy because I really don't fool with shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to keep things where they're working just fine, for the most part. You know, so you can kind of pinpoint what the problem is, but. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, I don't like I said, something happened with the fucking audio too that I was doing the other day. Let's see. Let me see. Because I was gonna say, like, I did something yesterday, and I don't know what happened. All I did was I was trying to fix the audio for recording the video I did yesterday for the Texans, and let me see something. How does it sound now? Is there a difference in the sound? It might not be, might not be as loud, but it should have altered the sound a little bit. Appreciate it, Aaron Gray. Thank you for coming up. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea what it is. Let me see. You know what? I bet I do. I know one place I have not fucking looked. Right. Now that I think about it, the one thing I didn't do. So give me just a second. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, right. And if this is the case, I'm gonna be mad. This will be fucking stupid. So why is this? How does it sound now? This is fucking ridiculous. The one thing I didn't do, I know it's way louder right now, right? It's probably really fucking loud. Again, settings I don't even fuck with end up getting fucked over. How about now? Am I clear now? No gain, no nothing. Stupid shit. Yeah, fucking dumb. My microphone was set on 0 for some reason. I've never went into those properties. I hadn't even fucked with. That's why I just now thought about let me see something because I don't fuck with that shit. That's fucking stupid, right? The most basic thing you should fucking do, the most basic of all fixes, and that's the fucking problem. I fuck with everything. I'm going into fucking Yeti settings and all this other dumb shit, and fucking that's what it was, right? That's what it was. Fucking 0 to 100 real quick, right? Oh man, like, let me see that. It might be a thing. Appreciate that, culture. I didn't even. But now that we have the sound issue fixed, and now that half of you are deaf, it's probably just as bad as it originally was, right? But let's get into it. Simping suckers. Let's talk about what it is. What does that mean? Yeah, that's what it is right there. All right. And I don't even remember fucking clicking that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't fuck with. Look, I guess maybe it was done by default. I fucking know. Thank you, culture. So let's talk about it, man. Simp suckers. And yes, that is Russell Wilson on the cover. We were having a discussion in the Discord prior to this. And the Discord is always fun. If you aren't a part of that, be a part of that. And so we were talking about what a simp. I won't name who was there. If you were there and you want to name yourself and just let people know you were there, I won't expose you. But there's a few of us having a conversation. Majority males, one female. And definitely different views on it. And we kind of had this discussion before about simping a while back, a few months back. And no, simp isn't simple. We're talking about a simp, a sucker, a man who is easily parted with his wares in the presence of a female, right? So the discussion that we started getting into was about respect, about appearances, and, some other things. I'm going to do a quick poll. 0 for no, 1 for yes. Do you feel that body language is an important factor when having a conversation with someone? Do you pay attention to people's body language, or are you a person who just, I didn't word that well enough. Maybe I should have thought about it before I said it, but like, are you a person who consider someone's body language when you're talking to them, or do you take them straight for the words that come out of their mouth? And 0 for, your body language is important. No, 0 for body language isn't important. 1 for body language is important. Would make it seem like that. Because that kind of led into some other things. And now, me personally, yes, I'm a firm believer. I haven't as recently, but there was a point where I did a lot of reading about body language. Right now, I study up on body language quite a bit, and it's very important, right? And again, from my own knowledge, I don't use it probably like I should. My body language here is not good. There's so many other things that I should be doing if I'm presenting or being a host or whatever. But the den is it's a kickback. It's a laid back conversation, so I don't take myself too seriously. But getting back to simping and things like that, we kind of start talking about a woman's body language when she was around her man. And what that means, does that say something? Is that telling when it comes to these situations? And again, like I said, I think it's important, especially when you're talking about, again, we're talking about Russell and Sierra was a conversation that we were having. And it got into a conversation about, past dealings and current situation, right? Because we've seen Sierra's previous relationships, the 50 Cent, I forgot about that actually. The future thing. And then all of a sudden, the Russell thing, right? And so you start wondering, like, what is it? I'm dropping a lot of frames, a lot of buffering. All right. Let me see what we got going on here. But so it's like what is it? Like, why the change? All of a sudden, the change heart. Did she just come to this realization that all of her life Russell was the type of dude that she's always wanted, or is it a situation where a lot of women get to at a certain point in life, especially if they're a single mom? Was it stability for me and my kids, right? Because Sierra ain't been making no hits lately. And the last hits she made were both written by Future, right? The last successful songs she made were both written by Future, and who she didn't want to give credit to on her album. But that's your fiance. That's love, right? So that tells you that, to me, that tells me something about Sierra's character more than anything. But we don't want to discuss that just yet. So my thing is, what the fuck, nigga? Travis got me. Shut the fuck up, Kenneth. Nobody know goddamn. Well, to a certain extent, nobody know damn Travis Scott meal. What's up, Cassie? You know what? I apologize because I didn't do my proper shout out. Let's get that in real quick. Just Sarah Infinity, Culture down in the Discord, Bad and Bougie. Let me see. Man Cave, what's the motherfucking deal? It's Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal? Dita Gamble, what's the motherfucking deal? John from New York, what's the motherfucking deal? See, I wasted some of my time with the audio problems. Forgot to fucking do the shit. Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Cassie Cage. And Frost 757, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? The lovely Miss Kate Racing. How are you doing this afternoon, ma'am? And whack ass DeMark in the building. All right. So, yeah, I see that. Like I said, I got to figure out what it is. Again, I'm gonna spend some time tinkering today. More tinkering, probably doing more destruction than fixing. But so we start getting to the conversation. Russell being a simp. Now, men and women don't see this the same way, right? Because we're on different ends of what benefits you get out of this, right? So women, he's just being a man, a protector, and a father, and he's just doing the things he needs to do as a man. To the untrained eye, it could appear that way, right? To the untrained eye, it could appear that way. I personally feel that Sierra's the dominant one in that relationship. And I think you see it through certain interactions. Now, certain people have like lanes where they excel, where they thrive, right? And so what we do a lot of times, we see a person and just say, there's no way he's an athlete, he's a star quarterback, no way. He's a fucking simp, bro. Like, and I've told y'all this before about most of these athletes. Most of these athletes are whack as fuck. Most athletes are whack and they lack personality. They've gotten by on their athleticism, so people like them. Like, everything else is tolerated because of the special things that they can do. A lot of dudes really don't have game. They got money, you know what I'm saying, and that works. Or they have fame, and that works. That's why you see so many of these motherfuckers get played, getting to fuck with these baby mamas, because they're fucking with chicks who, had they not been in a certain position or so, wouldn't give them the time of day. But they're too dumb to realize that a lot of motherfuckers super simps, pussy whipped and things of that nature. So they happy for anything that's thrown their way. They're not looking at why. Or some of them don't give a fuck. I'm in the situation, so I'm going to take advantage of the situation. Then, you get hosed. But Russell is a special kind of guy, right? Because I've done a little reading on Russell. I always thought he was a real questionable character. Like, I would love to have him on your team. Like, you'd love to have him on your team, but I wouldn't want to hang out with the dude. Like, immediately, I wouldn't say bye to that dude outside of the practice facility. Like, the dude rocks Jerry curls and Hawaiian shirts, all right? And I had to make sure to reiterate that. Not my type of associate. But is he a bad person? No, absolutely not. Good Christian dude. Seems like a very stand-up guy from the things that I read. The work that he puts into his craft, unmatched. He's destined to be great because of the work that he puts in. Like I say, and it's very intriguing. It's very interesting. But you can excel at all of these things. You could be a master of every other fucking thing, and we're talking about men here, and have the worst, most piss poor interactions with women. Like, it's just, I know motherfuckers who, some wild motherfuckers, but they have no success with women. They're terrible with women, right? So I think we assume a lot of things sometimes when we see certain people. No, it's not true. And you say, well, why do you think Russell's a simp? Well, there's been a lot of different things, and it's not to make this whole story about Russell. He's just a supreme simp. He's the perfect example, right? And so a lot of things we were discussing, one of them being that, you know, Sierra was pushing to get Russell to move to New York, right? And I believe he was strongly fucking considering it. Now, let's think about who a move to New York benefits. The Giants? Maybe. Sierra? Maybe it doesn't benefit Russell. Why would you go from Seattle to the fucking Giants, right? But the wife is trying to pressure him and push him, and so he makes a decision. Well, we'll push for a new contract or whatever, and use that as they don't give it to us, then we're gonna leave. So he put a time frame on him. Seattle, knowing what they had, they buckled and paid him. Of course you fucking would. But it's like, my thing is this: why would you even consider that? Like, in the slightest, I get relationship decisions. I built my foundation here. I made myself here. This is why I am who I am right here. You have a fledgling music career. Haven't been relevant in a long fucking time. And you want me to alter the trajectory of my career, which is temporary. Like, you only have so much football. I only have so much legacy to leave on this planet. And you want to alter my trajectory because you just want to be somewhere else where you can basically work. You're not making it, you can make music anywhere, right? I mean, you can make music any fucking place. Like, me personally, wouldn't have even been a consideration. Like, that conversation would have never gotten outside the household. No, it's not going to happen. No, sorry. But that's me. Now, should there be decisions that are made between couples? Absolutely. I think that if you choose somebody as your partner, their input is important, right? But I think there's reason. I think there's a place where you have to take a stand. Now, here's the problem where being a nice guy, to me, turns into simping. There's nothing wrong with being nice. But when you start to let someone run over you, or if you're a man, you let a woman run over you solely for the fact that she has a vagina, and you're hoping to have access to it or whatever, you're failing. And let's be real. No woman respects a simp. None. You can sit here and say, well, this, that, and you're lying. You're lying. No woman wants a man that she can push over and have her way with. She would like to have one on her roster, but she would not want that to be her main man, because she's going to feel if she can push him over, then so can everybody else. Any other man he's going to come in contact with is going to be a problem, right? So women like the benefits that they get from these simp guys. And if you are a guy and you're just extremely nice and you think that's, let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something. I used to be a real nice guy. And I'm still a pretty nice guy, I think, for the most part. But you have those experiences, and I think every man in here who you would think maybe operates a certain way has had that experience. If you are still in the nice guy, overly nice phase, then you haven't had that real experience yet. Or maybe you didn't realize it. I don't know. But don't be that guy. Don't be the simp. Don't be the sucker. Because again, you may get the attention, but you're not getting the outcome. And that's what happens with a lot of these dudes. But there's a lot of willing simps, a lot of willing suckers out there, right? And it's unfortunate. Now, the question is, can a woman be a simp? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Can a woman be a simp? 0 for no, 1 for yes. We'll do a little quick poll. I want to know your thoughts. Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. Cartier, how you doing this evening? Unless she's a femdom, oh well. But you know that femdom, like they don't. But again, what did they fucking do? They bully them and treat them like shit. That's of course, yeah. They like again, that's some weird shit. But those are those people, right? Power was the motherfucking deal. You know, you say it's hard to be nice, and I agree, and that's the problem, right? And that's part of the problem because you know you say simping, some people say, oh well, they're just being chivalrous. Chivalry's dead, right? Chivalry is dead. And do you know who killed chivalry? It was your raggedy ass homegirl who killed chivalry. Because you'll say, not me, I don't do that, I would never. You can't open a door for a broad these days without a bitch calling you thirsty. Like, bitch, I don't like you. You fucking, let me stop saying stuff. Anyway, you know, and without being called that, like, so you can't be nice, you know. And then the women complain, well, I just want a nice guy who treats me this way. That's what every woman says. I don't think any man believes that anymore. Because you see who wins, you see who gets all the poontang pie, right? It's not the nice guys. Nice guys finish last. So, fellas, if you're in here, one, stop taking your dating advice from women. It's the worst advice you're ever going to get if you take dating advice from a woman. If you're a man, don't do it. Do not fucking do it. Because you wouldn't listen to a fish. No, you wouldn't have a fish tell you how to be a fisherman. Fish can't really talk, I guess. Unless you get them fucking ones on the back with the little, when you walk by, they start singing that shit. That little weird shit. I can only imagine, like, having them in your house at night and that bitch going off. I'd fuck some shit up. You say the simp is a stepping stool for a woman's ego. No matter how messed up she is, the simp will ignore all that for a chance to clap them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and that's the thing. And we could talk about monkey branches. We could get into all that, but I'm gonna keep it somewhat fun. Appreciate the love, strong brand.
The simp is a stepping stool for a woman's ego. No map she is.
Because I know y'all saying that the voice wasn't coming through. I don't know if that was plain or not. We'll try it like this. Maybe
the simp will ignore all that for a chance to clap them cheeks.
I gotta change these fucking questions too, right? But again, so my thoughts are, I want to know everybody's feelings. I'm gonna open up the line here in just a second, right? Because there's a lot of stuff to touch on, but like I said, we had such a long conversation about it in the Discord. I'm more at this point wanting to know other people's thoughts, other people's feelings on this situation. It doesn't have to be Russell. It could be a lot of things. We could talk about Odell Beckham liking to be shit on. But the thing is, do you think, and I really want to hear from the ladies, because every lady in here has had an experience with a simp. Every one of them. And every one of you have had that experience with a simp, has taken advantage of it. And so I want to hear your story about how you took advantage of some simping ass dude, because I know every single one of you ladies has one. Fellas, what I would like to hear from you guys, and again, this is the den, you can call up on your own shit. I'm just throwing something out there to get the conversation started. Sometimes people want to call in and they don't know exactly what they want to say, and you know the premise. And yes, the shit is shaking. I keep kicking my desk. Fellas, I want you to tell me your simp story. Because I would say 97%, 98% of men have a simp story. And it probably happened somewhere in their teenage years that changed them. The ones that don't had an older brother, older cousin, some older family member that gave them a lot of game at a younger age, and they saw how they operated. So, like, everybody ain't got that. You know what I'm saying? Some people got older brothers, they simps too, goddamn. So, like, if you didn't have that, 9 times out of 10, you had to go through your own experience to have a realization. So, I want to hear, fellas, I want to hear your simp story. Ladies, I want to hear how you're manipulated the simp story. Because, like I said, I know all of you have at least one. At least one. Now, while I'm doing this, let me get, I ain't used the damn phone line so long, I forgot the shit. But again, I hope life is treating you guys good. I'm gonna have to adjust to this daytime thing. And while I'm setting this up, for those who are asking about, like I said, the last couple of weeks, I've been just extremely tired when it gets later in the day. Yeah. And like I say, part of it's because I've been getting up early. And so, excuse me. And so when it gets to that time, like my energy level is low, it's kind of, I can feel it that, my energy is kind of dull, it's dry, like, and if that's what I'm presenting, I don't need to be on the screen, right? So, I think that, it's important that I give you guys, my best. And like I say, also too, with this, being sports season, I do have the secondary, or that was my initial channel, which is all sports. It's gonna be a lot more activity going on with that, and a lot of that stuff takes place in the evenings and things. So, to avoid, den cancellations or postponements and all that other stuff, to me, the day dens make the most sense. And actually, I'm not promising it yet. We're gonna see how it works. Because of that timing, I may add Saturday back in the mix. We'll see. No promises yet. It wouldn't be this week. It'd probably be, if I do it, probably like next week. All right. So now I got all that out the way. All you lovely, wonderful people. I'm not sure. Is there anything else I'm supposed to point out or shout out? All right. So let me put the phone line up. Bada bing, bada boom, Betty boop. And let's see what y'all in here talking about. So, is a simp nice? No, I think you can be a nice guy, but not be a simp. Like a nice guy with boundaries. You know what I'm saying? If you're a nice guy with no boundaries, then yeah, you're most likely a simp. Like, it's one thing, like, because here's, like I say now, because the terminology's gotten so loose and it's gotten like so crazy that people use it just so freely. Like, I saw some motherfucker, like I told you, this thing right now called No Simp September. I saw a motherfucker say you can't even say hi to hoes. There, you simp. Like, stop the nonsense, bro. Like, get you some pussy. Like, I'm not telling you not, to do that if that's what you're about, right? And if you're not, if you're married and you don't do any of that, you better be faithful and you better be loyal. If you're a single man, I gotta fucking get that thing. Fuck it, I forget I reset the cookies. What's the motherfucking deal, man? We got calling into the den this afternoon.
What's up, John? What's up, Honcho? It's John.
I'll be a John. What's the motherfucking deal, John? How are you feeling today, Mr. John?
I'm feeling all right. I feel good. Did my hair, got to put on my suit, record a video, so I'm feeling good.
Good. How was your Labor Day?
Just another Monday. How about yours?
Same. Pretty much nothing special.
I did labor. That's what I did on Labor Day.
Oh, that's terrible. That's against the rules, John. You're breaking all the rules. Okay, so what are your thoughts on simps and suckers and simping, Mr. John?
Oh man, pimping ain't easy, but simping is easy. It's a real thing. I think women and men can both be simps in their own ways. It's just every time I see a guy simping, a little part of my manhood dies. It just hurts me to the core. Like, it hurts me to see another man suffering like that.
Quick question for you, John. Do you think that Russell Wilson is a simp in your opinion?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not, like, in their relationship, so I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. But I will say this. Some people say that simping is like, doing anything nice for a woman or doing really nice things for a woman. And that's not necessarily true if the woman is worth it. If she's reciprocating, if she's that fucking great, well then, yeah, you should do nice things and be extravagant. But, the whole simping thing is, to me, is when you're going out of your way for her approval, when you're doing way more for her than she deserves, when you're allowing the vajayjay to control you. You know, you have more respect for her than you got for yourself. I think that's more of simping. So I don't know. Maybe Sierra does all these great things behind the scenes, so to him she's worth it. I don't know.
That's an interesting way to put it.
What?
No, just as far as the thing, Sierra and Russell. So yeah, maybe she does some things behind the scenes that we've seen some of the videos. Maybe there's something new to him. He hadn't had that experience, and maybe he likes it. Maybe he likes it a whole lot. What about you, Mr. Johnson?
You know, not to cut you off, but what you just said, I had a friend, an old coworker / friend, who used to get the absolute. I mean, this woman treated him like absolute trash.
It cut out for just a second.
And
absolutely, and it cut out for a second. Could you? What did you say after the absolutely?
Hold on, you're breaking up on me.
It might be on mine. It might be some shit going.
I can hear you better now.
You said you had a friend who had the absolutely, and then it had cut out for a second. We had missed kind of that part after that.
Okay. I had an ex-friend / coworker who was the biggest simp. He won the biggest Simp of the Year award, maybe the decade. He got engaged to this woman. I mean, he went out of his way. He rented a house for $4,500 a month. He bought her a car. He paid for her boob job. This man, he sat home and babysitted her kid while she went out and partied and come home for 2-3 nights in a row. I mean, this woman absolutely paid. She lied to him and said that she had cancer.
What?
I mean, this woman absolutely, she shitted on him more than Odell Beckham's fucking girlfriend. Okay, she shitted all over the place. I mean, and we all were like, I said, we have proof that she's cheating on you. We know the guy who's banging her right now. We know the guy who's selling her the coke and gangbanging her. Like, I know your girl's cheating on you. You're my friend. I love you. I care about you. I don't want to see this happen to you. Break up with her. You know what he did? He fell more in love with her.
Exactly.
He bought her more things.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, and to the point where we were all just, I mean, it got to the point where we were all just clowning him to his face. and he still wouldn't stop. And you know what the fucked up part was?
Yep.
You could tell he was embarrassed because she knew there was truth to what we were saying, but he still couldn't break up with her and stop treating her better than she ever treated herself.
Correct. Hate to see
and that, a part of me died during that time period, and it's never recovered. How could you allow that to happen to you for so long? And then here's the thing. We all make mistakes. We all have our simping stories. The issue is then he got with another woman and did the same shit again.
Maybe he's a stickler. Maybe he's a stickler for pain. He likes that kind of stuff. Some guys are into that
you know,
shit. Let me see what's going on.
He's giving pain to themselves.
Cutting out of my second. Hold on a second. Man, bougie. Everybody likes a gangbang story. So you know, again, like that's so fucking crazy. Are you still friends with the guy?
No.
Okay.
Not over that. I'm not friends with him over something completely different.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's wild. That's really wild. What about you, Mr. John? Do you have a simping story?
Yeah, nothing really specific, but I mean, there was a point where I believed, I guess to put it like the Disney fairy tale movies, where like the man's the prince and the woman's the princess, and you're supposed to be really nice to her, and if you're nice to her, she's going to be nice to you back, and you guys fall in love. Like when I was younger, I actually thought that was true. I mean, I grew up in an old-fashioned family. My dad went to work, took care of business. My mom cooked, cleaned, took care of the kids. I just thought, like, I thought everyone was like my family. Like, you're nice to each other and things work out. So I was always, and I always believed when I was younger, oh, you should treat women like this, and women are fucking these precious little angels and they're princesses, no matter what. Like, and then I started realizing as I started dating that women can be some of the most devilish people on this earth. And then I realized that, you got to treat people as an equal, which means you got to do for me like I got to do for you. So, that woke me up. And then I realized that once I was awakened, I was all alone, because then once I felt that I got red pilled, I felt like I was surrounded by a bunch of blue pill dudes. And everyone's like, no, I'm like, listen, I've been through that. I said, I'm like, I went through it. You haven't gone through it yet. I see you where I was X amount of years ago. And it's just funny because, we would always, like, pick on a guy who was like, we would, like, for example, we were at work one day back in the day, and there was this guy that we were all picking on because his girlfriend totally ran the show in his relationship. And we knew she was cheating on him. She hit on me behind his back, so we knew she was a pig. And he was one of these guys, he's like, oh, yeah, I know women can cheat too, but never my girl. My girl would never cheat on me. My girl's not like that. And we were just like, come on, dude, like, don't think like, maybe she's not, but you can't sit here and say your girl would never cheat on you. You don't know your girl. Meanwhile, keep in mind, we're saying this to him as we know she's cheating on him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, never my girl. Never my girl. I'm like, okay. And it's just heartbreaking to know something and look at someone sitting there telling you adamantly it would never happen to them and not my girl and she's a precious little angel. And you're just like, dude, we know your girl's cheating on you. And then they don't, and then when you tell them, because we told them, they don't believe it.
That's wild. That's very unfortunate. And that's weird too, because I've had situations where I've tried to tell a friend something. They are just adamant about it. Like I said, I had a friend who he started dating a chick, and I told him, because I knew about her history, not to do it. Like, I'm your partner, I'm a friend, before anything even got serious. And then goes all in, that shit happens to. Why do you think guys don't want to hear that? Do you think it's a sense of ego, that they don't want to admit that maybe they made a bad decision?
I don't think it's a guy thing. I think it's just a human being thing. People don't like the truth. People are afraid of the truth. People are stubborn. People don't want to be proven wrong. People don't want to have to deal with confrontation, so they'll lie to themselves to avoid the truth. I just think it's a people thing, because there's women out there too that behave like that. Oh, my guy's not cheating on me. Y'all just jealous, have a good relationship, blah, 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 blah. I don't really think it's a guy thing. I think it's a sucker thing, and a man or woman can be a sucker.
I definitely agree. Okay. I don't know any other.
And as far as your question, can women be simps? Absolutely. Cardi B is a huge simp with Offset. She knew what she was getting. Worth wasn't really that high based on his track record with the law, other women, baby mamas, not taking care of certain kids, having to go to court just to get take care of his first kid. Talking about how she doesn't like to be used as a symbol of colorism because he's light-skinned, but yet she still got with a guy who only procreated with light-skinned women. Then cheated on him like a dog. He cheated on her like a dog, and then she took him back, and then he cheated on her again, made sex tapes, DM'd the girls that she had assault cases on, and she just kept fucking praising him and bigging him up and going out in public with him, and it's just, that's a simp. She treated a man that didn't deserve to be treated like that. So I think she's a huge simp.
That's a good point. But didn't she give him like 100,000 or 500,000, something crazy like that on his birthday or some shit? Like after all that shit already happened?
You know what it is? I don't even really follow celebrity gossip like that. I only heard a lot of this stuff recently because of the whole little Kansas Owens Cardi B spat. And I only looked into it because I follow politics, so I like Kansas Owens. But I mean, she's not exactly the person you want influencing young kids or anyone when it comes to politics. So I thought, and it was just convenient that you're talking about Simps, and I'm like, well, if a guy does all that for a woman in reverse, he'd be called a huge simp.
Correct.
I mean, Russell Wilson is called a simp, and yet Sierra hasn't put him through half the shit that Offset put Cardi B through. And nobody's calling Cardi B a simp.
No, that's true. That's true. That's
female privilege.
Yeah, female privilege is a thing. Because you know what else females never get called, and they do it a whole lot? You never hear anybody call a female a pedophile.
Yeah. And every time I hear something like that, I think of that movie Antoine Fisher. How that, I think it was the aunt, but definitely a woman, molest a little boy. And I'm just like, yeah, women usually, even like when they had there was a time period when they were on the news every other week, they were putting some school teacher that got caught having a relationship with like a high school kid underage. Yeah. And they never really demonized them the same way. Like if they catch like Jeffrey Epstein is a severe case, but I mean like they never chastise them as much as they chastise the women when it comes to the pedophile thing. Women get more chastising when it comes to certain other things in life, but when it comes to the pedo stuff, I feel like
cut out a second. I'm sorry, the last part after you feel like, and it cut out for a second.
No, I just feel like there's certain areas of life where women do get criticized more than a man would, but when it comes to the whole being disgusting with kids thing, I feel that they don't get it as harshly as a man would get it.
And and I think there's a few layers into that. We as men don't do ourselves any favor too, because what happens when you're young, you fuck with an older chick. Oh, congratulations, you're a man now. All kind of different crazy things. But in reality, they can be a very dangerous thing because women know the power of the pussy, and to put it on a young man who don't have those type of experiences or a child, that can be a lot of mental damage done in the long run. So I think we need to talk about that more, but as we as a society, we don't.
But that's even like with the guy, what's his name, Little Boozy, or as Mr. O call him, Little Bootsy. Like even when he had that thing where he was like, yeah, I paid for my kids, to have sex with an older woman, and like, there were a lot of people like, no big deal. It's a rite of passage for a young man. But it's like, but if somebody had some young daughters and were like, yeah, I paid this creepy old man to fucking pound out my fucking underage daughters, he would be like, oh, that's disgusting. How dare you? That's rape. That's this, that's that. And I just feel like, there's double standards out there. And you're right. Like, some people do push those double standards, and I think everyone needs to stop with that bullshit. Kids are kids.
Correct.
Kids are literally the most unprotected group of people in this world because they can't speak up for themselves. They're legally owned by their parents until they're 18, unless they file some kind of an emancipation. So, and also, you want to talk about adults sometimes feel uncomfortable talking about things. Imagine being a fucking kid. Yeah. They are so heavily influenced by peer pressure. Oh my God, if I say this or do this, the kids are not going to think I'm cool. So imagine being a young kid and having to have that kind of pressure and horrible things happen to you. So, I mean, we should definitely, I heard there was 123 kids in some operation to stop child trafficking in Michigan 2 years ago. I didn't even hear about it until fucking last week.
Damn.
There was something like a couple of dozen kids in Georgia that were found last week. Fucking media silent on it. I only heard about it through YouTube. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you got damn kids being shipped in Wayfair cabinets. Come on now.
That's crazy. We live in a fucking, and again, send some love to your local conspiracy theorists and your fellow conspiracists. There's a lot of shit that has just been going on, getting exposed, issues, just crazy things that you're like, no fucking way, it's not a thing, it doesn't happen. And I mean, out the woodworks, and it seems, especially after old gal got caught, like it seems like the numbers now, you hear it in the news now. Oh, this many kids have been found. This many kids have been found. I'm not saying she just knows where every missing kid in the world is, but it just seems like ever since they've apprehended her, you know, and it correlates to the Jeffrey Epstein thing, like you've been hearing these stories, and it's real wild. But like you said, it's not through mainstream media. You have to hear it through social media, and then once it gets enough push on social media, then they're like, all right, well, fuck it, we'll talk about it.
You want to hear about my conspiracy theory on that?
What's that?
I think that when they arrested Jeffrey Epstein and his fucking, what was the fucking, the animal that was fucking with him in on it, Jessalyn Maxwell, whatever her name was, whatever fucking name is. Yeah. So I feel that they uncovered a lot of documents in their possession that had a lot of names, a lot of plans, a lot of locations, and I feel that right now a lot of these things that are going on are based on like the inside information that they obtained from these two people. So that's just my personal. It's an assumption, and maybe you call it a conspiracy theory, but I feel like they got information from her on a lot of powerful people who are running these rings around the country that are fucking storing little kids, fucking selling them off, and all the kind of crazy trafficking shit. Yeah. That's something that popped up in my mind when I started hearing about these stories.
I mean, I wouldn't be, like, I honestly would not be surprised, like, again, because they know all the powerful people. She was there with him with all the shit that was going down. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if things are unraveling because of, you know, her being able to provide some type of information. And it's I guess, good and bad at the same time. It's kind of scary, I guess, for children. But, you know, if the kids are coming home, ultimately, if they're, you know, fine and safe, then that's ultimately what all that matters.
And another thing I thought about was he might be playing the goody two-shoe image in the media because he knows that the sponsors will be okay with that. You know, people who spend money probably aren't going to complain too much about that. Women fans who want to buy things for their kids will support him. So he might, behind the scenes, he might be fucking beating the shit out of Sierra, cheating on her, and fucking, you know. But he might be like, you know, I got this public image. I'm a public person. I gotta fulfill this image. So, you know, you might think he's this little, like, you know, little puppy dog poodle, but behind the scenes, he's a fucking pit bull. Who knows? You know. Because it's been the other way around. You know, it's been where we've seen people act like a fool in public, you know, for money, but then behind the scenes they're somebody completely different. Correct. Maybe he's doing the same thing in reverse.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Russ is I want a
fucking Super Bowl, bitch.
Russ is a weird breed. Again, like I said, I'm not knocking him for anything else that he does. I just think that, to me, and again, my perspective in his relationship, it looks like Sierra's wearing the pants, and you know they might be skinny jeans, but she's definitely she's definitely wearing the pants in that situation. Let me check. I'm sorry about that.
And here's the thing, though. You could be nice to a woman and not be a simp. Just don't be a goddamn pushover.
Correct.
Like you could be kind to someone and still be stern and assertive. Correct. You can still hold your ground. You don't got to say yes to every little thing because you're afraid of her walking out on you. There's a million more like her. Everything in your box, everything in all your stuff in a box to the left. You could a man could do that to a woman so easily too. Be gone. There's a fucking million other women out there. I know I butchered it, but there's a million other fucking women out there. No. Hey, you know, stop it, fellas. Stop it. It's 2020. Stop it, fellas. Stop the simping. Just say no.
Just say no.
The war on simping. Just say no. But anyway, I've been fucking rambling about nothing for the past 15 minutes.
It's all good.
I'm going to let you go. God bless you. God bless everyone in the chat. Love the new time slot. Do what you got to do, Honcho. And goodbye, everyone.
All right, John. I'll be looking forward to that video. And, let me know when you drop it. I'll make sure to share.
I'm going to drop it tonight. It's about Kansas Owen and Cardi B.
Okay, cool. I need to watch it. I heard about that. I heard it was a slaughter, but I need to check it out for myself.
It was basically Kansas Owen saying, how do you support this, and this policies, but yet you don't know this, and this? and then Cardi B saying, "Your pussy's dry, and your white man's a white supremacist." That's basically how it went.
Wow. Stupid bitch. All right. Well, there's that. Well,
that's the Cliff Notes.
Well, then I don't have to watch that. Thank you. Well, that's a bit, man, Mr. John. Like I said, I appreciate you calling, getting the new time slot jumped off, and sharing your thoughts with us, man. So definitely.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day, Honcho.
Absolutely. You too, sir.
All right, bye.
All right. I gotta get that. What I do? Oh, there it is. One second. I'm gonna put you on hold real quick. Real quick before I start the call. Shout out to Miss Jess Sarah. I appreciate you showing the love. Says Cardi B needs a dictionary and speech classes. I 100% agree. But what's sad is that certain people are making her a face of politics, and she's probably the worst thing that you could have chose. Now, I had to say that real quick. I gotta do a quick honcho hiatus, right? Give me just 1 second. Me adjusting to this new time slot. I am not properly prepared. Give me just one moment. I'll be right back. On the hold, sir. Who we got calling into the den this afternoon?
Oh, we got a reformed simp himself, Dan.
Dan, the motherfucking man with the plan. How was your Labor Day, Dan?
Man, look, I just hit the gym. I cooked a burger or two, and I just did some studying. That's it, bro. That's it.
Okay. I feel you. I ain't do too much. I fucked off in the yard while I could. So what are your thoughts, man? You say you're a reformed simp. Talk to us, Dan. Talk to us, man. What reformed you? What was it that changed Dan into the man he is today?
See, because something amazing. Well, I'm going to put it amazing in the world of symptom. A lot of simps put some of these females on a pedestal. No matter what she does, that's irregular, dysfunctional, or you don't agree with necessarily that you wouldn't want out of a female you're dating. You let her do it because you put her on this pedestal. And this girl that I remember this back when I went to college back in 2003, 4. My second semester, I met this girl. And I've told you about this girl before, but people haven't heard this story. This is a bit longer version of it. Met her at a party. I don't remember the party because I was an alcoholic at the time. So, I blacked out at one point. But, me and her apparently did the same thing because none of us remember meeting each other at the party. But the next morning I saw her both hungover and shit. But still, she was the most beautiful girl I ever saw. Hungover as fuck, very curvaceous, she was thick and all that good stuff. And I remember she giving this biggest hug, and that's where the simping started because she gave me this hug, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a chance. So, dude, I was such a sheltered kid because we lived in a bad area, so my parents didn't want us out there. So I went out there like in middle school and high school, macking on chicks, stuff like that. I just had to study, and I wrestled like in high school, and that was about it. So I was a little sheltered because my parents didn't want us to run all that hood shit. So essentially I go to college, so I'm on my own. And, I fell in love with this chick first day I met her. I remember I met her. And she told me, a guy she was sleeping with. I'm like, oh, okay, well, da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, who are you sleeping with? I was no one, all this other dumb shit. And, you if you have feelings for a woman, you really don't want to hear her other sexual exploits. It just But in the mind of a simp, man, you like, well, I mean, I still have a chance somewhere. So this went on for about 2 years. She was dating one of my other friends. And did I hold her hair back while she threw up in the toilet? Yes, I did, Grace. Yes, I did. I did do that shit. That's the king simp, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I love that girl, man. You remember what's the Project Pat song where the chicken head?
I love him, man. I'm gonna kill that nigga when he get off work, and I'm gonna marry him.
That's how I go. Yeah.
I'm gonna kill him when he get off work tonight, though. Yeah, that was my shit.
My nigga had a round face. It was like that, man. And see, here's the thing about being a simp, especially in an environment like college. Thank you, Grace. I'm glad you predicted that. All right. So, look, everyone around you, including all the female she-hangs that was thinking y'all dating or fucking or whatever, but you're not. The guys that she's fucking know that y'all ain't fucking. You know y'all ain't fucking. But everyone else thinks they are, so she takes all your time and attention. You could be out getting with other chicks or whatever, or studying, which I barely did at the time. So this went on for like 2 years. I would just like be her friend and stuff like that. Oh, I need someone. Could you get me from this party? I feel uncomfortable here. And you drop whatever the fuck you doing and put on your goddamn cape and all this other goofy shit. And at one point, she started dating a friend of mine who I really knew and all this other stuff. And that hurt seeing that. But I never made a move on her because I was scared of ruining the friendship and whatever little bullshit-ass fantasy I had in my head. And I just stopped hanging out with him because it hurts much to see them together. It shit hurt. And then I went on a tear, bro. I started drinking a lot more, smoking weed a lot more. I was popping pills and shit. It was college. I didn't give a fuck. I was just out there just turning the fuck up. I had so many one-night stands with random broads. It ain't matter no more, man, because, like, I just don't care, Then eventually I graduate college, and then, 8 years later, after I first met her, she hits me on Facebook. And she's like, oh, how you doing? I was like, oh, how you doing? It's been a while, because she left college for whatever reason, thinks she transferred. And then she's like, well, you know what? I got to tell you something. And my heart's beating like, is she going to say it? Did she actually like me? This is the simp mentality going on. And she said, actually, I really liked you back in college. It's just I didn't think you liked me for whatever reason. I'm like, me being a sucker, I'm like, girl, I fell in love with you. I said this shit over the phone, bro. Fucking simp, bro. And so we end up meeting up, and this is the girl I was dating when I entered the Navy, the one that cheated on me twice when I was on deployment, the one who I said I wanted to marry. See, this is where I fucked up. And I remember hearing this a long time ago, and I didn't understand it until you go through it. You know how it goes? Whoever says I love you first loses. Because the minute you say you love them, you give them the control in the relationship. And this goes for men and women. And yes, women can be simps too. John's absolutely right. I've seen a lot of these females out here got a good, stable job. Like, what was it? Remember, baby boy Jody? Jody was, Jody, yeah. Jody was simping. Oh, well, old girl was simping on Jody. Jody living at his mama house. Jody got a kid by another woman, got a kid by her, and he still out super bras. Let me borrow you a car. Yeah. Shit like that. So, it worked out at the end, but that's not every case. But anyway, so, like I said, we made our feelings. I go to boot camp. I get out of boot camp NA school, and then I go see her in Georgia, and we consummate the relationship, and, it was just some stuff. I remember, like, waking up the next morning. The fact I'm saying this, yeah, look, y'all gonna judge me. I don't care. I remember I looked at her, and like, a tear streamed down my eye. I waited years for this. And Honcho like, what the fuck?
I feel you, though. Like I say, we've all been there at some point. Some of us greater extremes than others, but I feel like the scenario is the same.
Well, I appreciate your understanding, bro, because some of the men in the chat like, well, this nigga a sucker, man. And I understand that, respect. It is what it is. And I said I love you in bed after we did all that crazy shit the night before. And she's like, oh, I love you too. But then and after she cheated on me twice, and this is right after my mom died when I went on deployment, I learned one other thing. Love is just a word. People can tell you whatever the fuck they want. It's just a word. And when I got back from deployment, I was like, well, I must have did something wrong. Why'd you cheat on me? Because she wanted to. And she broke with me on Christmas Day while I was stuck on the boat because I had duty. I had watches and everything. So I'm sitting there crying and chain smoking cigarettes, wondering what I can do to get her back. Look, when it's done, bro. That's it. And there's this thing, and I know some guys call it being red-pilled, things like that. I think there's a certain point in any situation where you're confronted with a certain set of facts that are irrefutable that forever changes your viewpoint on things. And that's what happened there. And my mentality would never go back to putting females on pedestals. I don't think I ever tell another woman I love her. The only person I truly mean that I love her in terms of a woman is my niece. That's it. My mother's dead, so she knows I love her. My mother's gone, so there's no point even saying that. I really haven't talked to my cousin since my mom's death, or my aunts, or any other female. I mean, I just don't care about them. I really don't give a fuck. Now, I have female friends, like a friend of mine in the Navy. You know, she sent me a care package, actually. It was real nice for her. I care for her as a friend because she was there for me. I've been there for her. But I really can't tell another woman I love her because I don't mean it. I burn out all my emotions on that one female. And I won't get them back.
And I hate to hear that, honestly. Like, I honestly do. And I'm not saying that I want you to have those feelings to go simp again. I don't want you to have those. But, I mean, it's like, you know, I think people need somebody. You know what I'm saying? And love is a crazy word. But I think there's a difference, though, because men and women love differently. You know what I'm saying? So when a woman saying I love you compared to a man, it's a completely different conversation. And most people ain't picking up on that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that, you know, it's like I think, Dan, I think you're a stellar dude. I think you got something to give to the world. Like, I don't want you to give up, man. I know it's tough. I want you, take a break, just recoup, calibrate, just think about it for a while. But I really truly feel like, there's somebody out there for everybody. You may have to dig in some different locations. Your person may not be in the general locations where, most people, mainstream folks meet each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's something out there for you. I think there's somebody out there for you. Don't close yourself completely off. Be guarded. I'm not telling you not to be guarded. I'm not telling you not to, be careful. But maybe it may just take a little while. But it's something out there for you. And again, like I say, I don't just know better. Approach the situation differently. Like, I'm not going to go with this head over heels shit. I'm rationally as equal. She's no better than I am. And approach from there, like I say. But I know it can be tough, dog. I felt a similar way after some shit happened. I was on some, man, fuck these hoes type shit for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Even at a point where when I had a chick, I was still on some fuck like. And so I was out of there.
Yeah.
And so I feel you. I understand where you're coming from, though. But man, don't shut yourself off completely, man. Like I say, I know it can be dangerous. I know it can be painful. But I think there's an opportunity out there for you somewhere.
I appreciate that, sir. I really do. Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm going to wait till this Rona hopefully blows over the next year or so, and I'm focused on this degree. I'm on my IT shit, and that's what I'm going to do right now, get a stable career, and then I'll think about love, But right now, I just want to make sure my family's all right, make sure I'm all right, pay my bills. I ain't that dude that John was talking about, man, look, bro, I ain't watching your kids while out here twerking in the club, bitch. Fuck that. Fuck that. And in case people don't know what a Jody is that motherfucker who sleep with your wife or your girlfriend while you're on deployment. And there's male Jodies too, but there's female Jodies too. Usually this is some dirt-ass dude, probably some guy kicked out of the military on some fuck shit. That's his revenge on the military. I'm going to sleep with as many military wives as possible. That's some whole shit. And it happened to me. So they're out there, bro. If you about to go on deployment in the military, bro, them dudes out there, bro, they going to fuck your chick. And here's the funny thing, and I'm about to hang up. There were people telling me, bro, she going to cheat on you, bro. And I was mad as shit, like, you lying motherfucker. I know it for years. Man, I'm see you in the building, bro. And I was mad. I was ready to fight niggas over this shit. That was right. And then I was the old head telling young dudes, man, look, bro, be careful, bro. She going to cheat on you, bro. She might. I don't know. I don't want to be as dismissive as people were to me, but, these are the same guys who are engaging in prostitution all the time, so I didn't follow them dudes around. I don't be doing that shit. But, man, that's all I got, bro. I mean, good luck to Cardi B. Candace is a beast, intellectual beast, and that's Russell Wilson. See, my thing is, like, when he took that picture with Sierra and, like, her son, Future's son. That's Future's son. Future, I don't know if he checked that dude for that, but look, you ain't taking pictures of my kid, bro.
I'm saying, like, that's the weird thing. I mean, that's why I say I feel like it's some simpism, because a man in his own right isn't competing with no other man. Like, especially not over a chick. Like, the new nigga, that's like female shit to me. The new dude being worried about the old dude. You know what I'm saying? If she say she ain't fucking with him, you married and all that, like, well, why are you concerned with that? Like, he does stuff. He, like you said, posting that picture and other little comments and other things he's done, like shit that females do, and post it on social media. So like the ex gal or ex chick can respond to like some old stuff. Like that's the vibe. Like I'm like, this is fucking whack. Like, are you doing that? Is Sierra making you do that to say, oh, look, little future gotta I do that? All that shit is whack, dog. Like, I think that's a boundary you gotta like. You don't try to cross. Like, a part of his kid's life or whatever it may be. Like, you don't try to out daddy the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you do. You like try to push it out there on social media. Look, I'm doing this, doing that. You know, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. But I mean, look, if someone's taking care of these kids, then that's all I can ask for out of this generation. I don't know. Yeah, out of this society at the moment. I mean, that's it, man. You know. But that's all I got, bro. Look, man, if y'all here simping, bro, look, just go in the bathroom or your bedroom, just jerk off and rethink the situation. You know.
Definitely gotta, but I think, you know, and again, I don't think most people realize, I think it's a lot of times guys that have a heavy female presence in their upbringing end up being like that because, you know, among all treating women nice and, you know, treat them like that and they're dainty and they're angels and they believe the shit too. And you get out there and get railroaded and you're like, my goddamn mama lied to me. You know, you've broken that trust. But, you know, and again, it's a different ball game. So I agree, it really takes some thinking, stepping back and thinking about, you know, how you value yourself compared to others.
Facts, bro. Facts. That's all I got. I ain't trying to hold you up too long. I've been on like 13 minutes, but yo, man, yeah, just be careful about the simping, bro, man. That's all. Already. And that goes for females too. I'm sorry, my bad, Honcho. Let me just say something about female. Look, y'all stop letting these dudes run up y'all credit. They take them car to fuck some other broad. Oh, what else? What else these dudes? They spending your credit cards on Xbox games and shit, and putting rims on and putting Dayton's on or whatever the fuck, getting the windows tinted like Jody off Baby Boy. Look, if your dude looks like acting like Jody off Baby Boy, I don't care how hard he blowing your back out. Rethink the situation. It might have ended up good in the movie, but that's a motherfucking movie.
Correct.
Just life ain't a fucking movie. And that's all I got, man. This is reality.
Well, that's a bet, Mr. Dan. I appreciate you, sharing your story with us, and hopefully some of the young men who may be in here listening, maybe it helped one of them. Maybe they might be in a situation and they probably learn something.
Yeah, elevate your choices. I mean, yeah, that's a good point, JB. Good point. But that's all I got. Y'all be safe, man. Shout out to the Dan.
Already, shout out Dan, man. I gotta cut the ringer off. Real quick, hold on, put you on hold 1 second. Cartier, I don't want nothing to do with that damn vaccine. Look, they talk about vaccine, start trying to man. Look, I'm gone. I'm out of here. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening or afternoon?
Peekaboo, you. Fuck you.
Wink, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, Mr. Wink?
Man, I see the simp conversation carried over to a real fucking topic. I didn't think that was going to happen.
I had a different topic at first, but it was getting so good, and the time was up against. I'm like, I want to continue this, and bring some more people into the conversation.
Hold off on a second. I'm on a phone call. Hold off on a second. I'll be back. Oh, I got one. Yeah, what you were saying now?
No, I was saying that the reason why is because, like I said, as we were having the conversation and it was getting time, the person, I was like, this is a real good conversation. So I want to be, bring the rest of the den folk in on it and get some views. Uh-huh. So, they'll get their views on it. So again, but kind of explain to the people, what you were saying as far as simps earlier in the conversation. And even if you got opinion on Russell.
Okay, well, Russell was the prime example of what we were having. Mm-hmm. And I understand we got the red pill community. I understand we got the manosphere and all that shit. You got blue pill men, who equal simps and just tell women whatever they want. They think that money impresses these women and that they have no respect standard. And generally, most simps like the women more than the women like them. And when you can never be in a situation like that with any woman. for I don't care how long you're together, you should never be in a situation where you are more accessible to your woman than your woman is accessible to you. Dudes like that get hurt, and it always happens not because they're great guys. It's not that these guys shouldn't be commended, and most men wouldn't mind being this way if it didn't cause them pain. Because our mother set us up for failures at a very young age by telling us that, oh, be real nice, oh, be, the guy and bring her flowers and bring her this and bring her that. But what she didn't tell you was that you have to look a certain way. You have to be on her radar. She has to want you, and she has to want to choose you to receive all of this bullshit that they try to play up and acting as if all women are queens, when that is not the case. I never knew a queen who could put a crown on her head without a king, being the head of the kingdom. So a lot of women are putting a lot of labels on themselves that they haven't earned. A lot of women put themselves in situations, and they should want exactly what it is they want because, hey, everyone has a preference.
But I'm going to cut you off real quick. But something that you just said, you know what I've noticed in response to that, what women have been doing? That I've been seeing a lot of women, straight women, calling themselves king. But only in the black community.
They're gay. They're gay.
But they're not dyking, but they're calling themselves king. And I'm trying to figure out why.
It's that masculine energy, bro. All they know is masculine energy. They don't know what it's like to be feminine anymore. A lot of women don't know what that shit is like to be feminine no more. Femininity and being nice and being courteous and not running your fucking mouth and trying to challenge men. Women are so not knowing what it's like to be a woman because a lot of them aren't being raised by women. They were being raised by single mothers who have masculine energy. They feel they have to take on both roles when all they have to do is play the role that they were gifted with from their creator. So, to try to put yourself in a situation where you feel you're above your own situation is ridiculous in itself. You can only control what you can control. If someone else is not willing to do their part in a relationship that supposedly means that you're not in control of. You doing, but I don't want. That's another topic. I want to get back to what we were talking about originally, and some of the factors of what I'm saying when it comes to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson does not have the respect of men for a reason. And I was thinking about this on the way back when I was just coming back from lunch, and you know how disrespected this man was. Like this dude was getting disrespected in practice from guys on the defense, the Richard Shermans, all of these guys. Like, they were playing Future's music on purpose at practice, and he would just sit there and just look around and, wouldn't shake dudes and be like, yo, y'all chill the fuck out. Like, he wouldn't pull dudes to the side. Like, he would just be looking all goofy and shit like that. I'm like, bro, what kind of man? Like, I understand the situation I'm in. I understand she was in a high-profile relationship and she has a baby with this man, who has high sexual market value. That's what it is. That's why women look at him, and the reason why is because he attracts a certain type of woman, and the type of woman that a man can pull only intrigues other women in the process, because especially if he ain't shit or something like that, they be like, what does this motherfucker bring to the table that I'm not seeing? And it makes her want to know more. That's part of the nature process. That's anybody. Most dudes, they want to know, oh, bro, how the fuck can a dude motherfuckers look at Jay-Z? Some motherfuckers will look at Jay-Z and unwittingly and not knowing that he brings charm, he has business sense, he has power, he has respect. People want to be him or be in a position to be like him. Women respect that about men. That is not in turn what they have to do for themselves. All they have to do to get what they want and you a man, you're not living off of a woman's accomplishments. And just to throw something in, men don't care about women's accomplishments. You have never looked at any woman and cared or You may have asked her, hey, okay, well, just in a casual conversation about what she does, like just to find out, okay, is she working or something like that? But to be honest, you don't need a woman to have no college degree. No man is out here pulling no woman or is thinking about getting a woman just because she has a college degree. We don't have the same prerequisites as women. Be fine, don't get on my fucking nerves, and have a cool conversation. Can I vibe with you? That's it. Women require way more because they know what it takes to get what they want is far less than what we could ever achieve. That's why men have more options in the end, but women control the sex market and the dating game, hands down. They have as many options. They can fuck as many women as they want. They can have just about any women because of what they have through their legs and not what they have in their brains. Because let's be honest, we don't care about that shit until we spend time with you. Until we actually kick it with you and you grow with us, like how when you sit on the couch and it just grows, that's how men operate. Once he starts spending time with you, then all of that other shit starts to count. But right off the bat, we don't care about none of that shit. We ain't buying what you're selling. But back to Russell Wilson. And you can look at Russell Wilson, look at the way that they take pictures. Look at the way he talks about her, and she never talks about him in a sense the way she does it for social media purposes. She knows the world is looking at her. She knows the world knows that, oh, she got a good guy. Oh, she winning. He doing good in football. But he's not viewed the same way in his personal life the way that he is on the football field. You know, like you don't, when you have the respect of your peers and things like that, half of these situations that he's been in due to things that he's unaware of at the moment, but he will catch light of this very soon. And he'll realize, why the fuck is this happening to me? I'm a good guy. I think, some women, I'm pretty sure some women think he has some looks to him or whatever. You know, that's not for me to say, but that's for women. But of course, he's bringing the money, the financial gain to the table, which is probably more than likely going to be the most intriguing thing about him. But he does not strike you as a man who is going to tell his woman when she's fucking up. But you don't have to curse at her. You don't have to do any of these things. You don't have to call out her name. But at the end of the day, you have to do it in a respectful manner and be stern on a lot of the things that you stand on. No man should ever consider, and no girlfriend should ever be in a position to be able to coax her man to move somewhere when he has a career where he's successful and he considers it just because she said so. That means his purpose does not mean that much to him, and a woman does not respect that. She keyed in on it. She constantly tests him. She looks like when you look at them and her body language, she never leaned in on him. It's always away. It's her shoulders are always set apart. She's always looking in the opposite direction. He always looks so happy with a huge smile on his face, and she always just looks like, meh. And it's just one of those things that you really just notice. And, you can see by some of the guys, because, let's just face it. If 50 Cent would have been in a situation where he would have wanted to marry this woman and make this girl his hand, he would have been able to do it a totally another way, because that's really the type of man she likes. And she's not wrong for that, because she knows this man has an alpha male mentality, and not everybody can be that. That's why men like that constantly get chose by women. He got a young girl now, 24, 25? Bad. He damn near 50 years old. And it ain't because he just 50 Cent. It's how he carries himself. He carries himself in such a situation, and she knows not to question him because she knows he's stern. She knows what the fuck she's going to get from him. And at the end of the day, he's not willing to compromise himself for her happiness. Any man doing that for any woman, married or not, is a fucking fool, and you deserve to be simped out and pimped out by these women. Point blank, period. You deserve it, and your happiness is paramount first and foremost. There is it's called self-preservation, and you can never fully love any individual 100%, because if you get hurt by that person, what do you have left to recover from?
And now what I did, as you were saying that, I brought something up on the screen, and I'm gonna actually show a couple of different pictures because we were talking about body language in the thing earlier. Now what I want y'all to see is this picture. One, she got some real muscly arms, but I wasn't trying to touch her titty. That's a muscly ass arm. But look at Russell Wilson. He's the one leaning in towards her. Look at where she is, and how she's kind of standing back. That's a prime example of what Wink was just talking about here. When you just mentioned that, and there's several other pictures like that. So as you know, I don't mean to cut you off unless you continue talking, but I'll be rotating some pictures on the screen.
There are more examples.
Yeah, I'm going to rotate some more pictures on the screen so that y'all will see, exactly what's talking about. And this is not a coincidence. There's certain things you confront, there's certain things you cannot hide, and that's why the first question I asked when we got the stream started was, body language and what does that mean, in your opinion. And in fact, is she taller than this nigga? So we're not even gonna because we already know how females are short niggas. So again, because y'all all said it yourself again, so we ain't gonna get into that conversation. But what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
And at the end of the day, it's not malicious. Mm-hmm. It's not malicious at all. It's just nature. Mm-hmm. Women love and are attracted to strength. Yeah, he's taking care of another man's baby. So what? That does not make him special. You know how many other dudes are doing that? You know how many dudes you know how many women purposely lie to dudes that know the baby ain't his and is using this dude for a paycheck? Like, get out of here. You see, one major fundamental difference between men don't protect trash.
Correct. Women
do. Whenever a man comes down on a woman of any nature, regardless of this, women always go to bat for that woman regardless if she knows she'll fuck this dude, she'll fuck her man or not. She won't even care. The fact that a man is coming at a woman, and this is the case that we're at in this, especially in the United States, we're in a place now where if you say anything about a woman, and you call them out on their bullshit, and you call them out on the nature that this is why a lot of men are late to the party, and you got a lot of men waking up to this red pill movement, and a lot of women are mad at these guys for telling the game for what it really is. They mad at Donovan Sharp. They mad at Kevin Samuels. They mad at AMS. They mad at these dudes because they telling them, and they was mad at Patrice O'Neal when he was alive. Because they know this shit works. They know it's an unfortunate situation. We know this shit is simile, hyperbole, oxymoron, however you want to put it, that women honestly want to be treated like garbage. It may sound fucking stupid. It may sound like this. It may sound like that. We know the shit don't make sense. It shouldn't have to take that in order for you to maintain a person's and this is educated women. I'm talking about this is fucking doctors, lawyers, politicians. No woman's social status, her social climate means absolutely nothing to a man. It's not a prerequisite. If you have all of that shit, that's just a bonus. That's just more we can build off of. But in no way, shape, or form does a man care. He just don't want you living off of him and don't want and treating him as how Sierra was ultimately going to treat Russell Wilson in the future. I can guarantee you, as he's nearing the end of his career, he's going to end up in an entanglement. Now, similar to Will Smith.
And I'm glad the point you made. Now, Ms. Grace, you said man loving another man's child because he loves a woman is a special kind of man. And I would agree. And I think there's factors into it. But do you think, I'm going to ask you, Wink, do you think if the roles are reversed, so if it's a man embracing another man's child or a woman having to embrace another woman's child, who do you think is more likely to accept it?
To be honest, the woman is. Mm-hmm. The woman is going to be way more willing to accept it than the man. Now, I can give you a backstory. One of my best friends, he's in a situation. Good dude, great fucking dude. His ex-wife, he took that child in. She just had a graduation. Grown dog. He never spoke ill about the way things ended. He's paying child support for a child that isn't even his. He's in another marriage. He's taking care of his kids. He's making sure that he doesn't do anything because he wants to have a relationship with his daughter. And that's how, and because she wasn't in his life, and he is on that border, and he's still being fucked over in the process, and he's awake. Women know how to use the system to benefit them when they're angry. That's exactly what Sierra is going to do. And she has his children. So it's really nothing else. And now the fact that, you know, he's taking care of another man's child, even though he's in the picture, that's almost simpish in itself. You know what I'm saying? Because a picture is painted because, like so many others were trying to say earlier, we don't know what's going on. We don't know, at the end of the day, we don't know what kind of father future is behind the door. But it's so easy to paint black men, especially in his position, as no good, not good role models. He does this, he does that. What he's doing as far as his rap game, that's just entertainment. He probably doesn't do half of the shit he's talking about, but he knows these dumb fucking idiots are gonna cling to his every word just because he's popular and he's on top right now. Women did the same shit for Beyonce, but don't realize she's in a situation where she's been cheated on by her dude. She ain't went nowhere because at the end of the day, she knows she's going all the way down in the dating market, and she knows she can't get a guy of that caliber again when it comes to Jay-Z. The same happened with fucking Tiger Woods' wife. She has to date down now. That's the thing with women. They date now. They're dating down when you're not on their supposed level. It's a man could never date down. That's not a thing for us. We will never say you're dating up or whatever because we know we bring shit to the table. At the end of the day, if we don't have it, if you don't have it, we can put you in a position where you can. Nothing that most women don't know what they like until it's introduced to them. So if you're a heterosexual woman, in so many instances, you don't know what the fuck you like sexually until a man shows it to you. You don't know you like being choked until it's done the right way by the right man. You don't like you like getting spit on in your mouth. You don't know until it's introduced to you by someone else. I mean, unless you because, you got a lot of lame women out here, too. They get done up, and they do a bunch of lame shit, and John pretty much covered that with the whole Cardi B situation, because I never look at it like that, but she's the perfect simp. Mm-hmm. And she ain't going nowhere.
And for those who were questioning about the Sierra thing, I put a link in there for people saying, you're making up the stuff about, Sierra making that power play to try to get Russell to leave Seattle and go to New York. If you watch sports, it was news. Everybody knew.
Right. I heard about that briefly, but I didn't really engage into it. But it's so fun. It was funny that you brought that back up, and you know how things click all over again. You were like, yeah. And I just thought about the blatant disrespect that he was getting even from his own Future, and they was playing Future songs in practice.
That's crazy.
With her there. And he was holding this man's child.
DK Metcalf piping her down.
Only a simp ass nigga can get treated like that. No man with any real respect from his peers and from women would ever go for that. That would never happen.
There's one thing to do it in practice. It's to do it in practice while your old lady there. It's one thing to do it in practice while your old lady there, that nigga kid there. That's a whole nother level. That's multi-tiered disrespect.
It's just disrespect. It's disrespect to the highest level. And he does not understand Wyatt Tampa. He's a wholesome dude. He clean cut. He brings something to the table, but he don't bring what counts to the table. So what? He taking care of a mother man's child. So what? He ain't special just because he taking care of his kids. What the fuck he supposed to do? Fuck you got children for and you ain't taking from them. You sorry ass nigga. Like what? You'll never hear me take up for any loser ass nigga that don't take care. He ain't even a man to me. Mm-hmm. That's how you talk about men who don't handle their responsibilities. Men, we get on niggas' asses like that.
Exactly.
We don't take up for trash because they making us look bad, and y'all like to lump us in with loser ass niggas like that. But then be well over 35. You hit the wall. You fell off in the looks department, and now you want a good man. How many women is in that position right now? You fall off completely physically. You don't got shit to bring to the table, but you want a good man though. You don't even know what the fuck a good man is, and you couldn't spot him even if you did know what he looked like. He still wouldn't be on your radar.
Man, Cartier, if they think that going to the Middle East to find a man is a good idea, and y'all think men in America are quote unquote, misogynists, yeah, good luck with that. Dealing with
Oh yeah, man, go to the Middle East.
You go try to fuck with a prince or something. It was one of them princes out there. He had a chick who was in his royal court. He sent that bitch to jail because she did something. I forgot what it was. He ain't like this. He sent that bitch to jail, kicked out the court. She just now got out. I think she was in there. She was in there for a few months. Like, she pissed him off. It was like one of his little wives or concubines or whatever. He's like, nah, fuck that. Sent her to jail. Now he just introduced, like, I think this past weekend he brought her back. After he felt like she deserved some.
Yeah.
So, y'all can deal with that if you want
to.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate situation, and at the end of the day, he's not realizing. He don't realize a lot of truths right now because he's not honest with himself, and he's not honest about the way things are going. I can guarantee you, she can just like be quiet. He'll be all over. He'll be like, "Oh, baby, what do you want? Oh, I'll do anything you say." Oh, like he look like a beg and keep sweat ass nigga.
Damn, that Keith, man.
And it ain't no hate towards the man, because at the end of the day, he ain't got nothing I ain't got right now. He ain't got shit I ain't got right now. I'm in a beautiful marriage with beautiful children, a beautiful wife who fits me in every way possible. And at the end of the day, she respects me because I'm a fucking man.
Yeah, no, because he's a Christian dude, Lockwood. I mean, he's out there and he's again. And again, as was alleged earlier, I won't say by whom. Simping has nothing to do with Christianity. That's not. There's no correlation between simping and Christianity.
A Christian don't make you a good man. Yeah. Being a Christian do not make you a good man or a woman for that fact. Mm-hmm. That don't mean shit. Because a lot of y'all ain't practicing what you preach it any goddamn way.
But my thing
is, you're saying that. Oh no! You go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying that it's not all about money. Money is a key factor, I'm sure, but it's a power play. It's a power thing.
It's a power move.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? So,
Jay-Z is married. Jay-Z and fucking what's called, they're a power couple.
Yeah.
Fucking Russell Wilson and Sierra are a power couple. Fucking Will and Jada, power couple. They bring something. They're able to put something together. They're able to create generational wealth. They have children that will never know what it's like to starve. They're in a position where they'll never know poverty. They're gonna always know the finer things in life. She's always gonna want that for her children, but she doesn't have to respect that man or really love that man in the process to get any of that. And for women to sit here and act like that's not a way of life is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So many women just do not want to tell the truth. And they setting their sons up for failure too. Because they teaching them simpish ways that they going to end up going, and then when they come crying on their shoulder and tell them why it's hurt, she ain't going to be real enough to tell them why the fuck you did with that. Oh, you being a simp right now. She'll never tell her son, oh, he's a good guy, you can just move on. No. You stay in that situation, you figure it out until she becomes the woman you always wanted her to be. She's your girl. That means you get to help mold her. What kind of girl will she come into? Is she gonna be the woman that you always dreamed of, or is she gonna be the nigga, or is she gonna be the girl that's for everybody else in the streets? That's the call, man. I'm gonna let somebody else go on up in here. I want to see some. I want to hear, the ladies' thoughts. I'm not gonna put it out there, but I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and what you were doing, because I don't want you to feel like I can't cut you off now. So you go ahead and you get in here. I want you to go ahead and explain a few things, and give us a perspective, or try to enlighten us on why women do some of the things they do to some of these soft men.
I'd definitely like to know. Yeah, because I don't know nobody's called in with their stories yet on how they're taking advantage of selfish men, but hopefully we'll hear soon.
Yeah, and I'll be back in the den probably when this shit over, if you go back in the den or something like this, because this is a conversation that can carry on later. Yeah. And I definitely want to get I definitely want my wife to chime in and give her perspective. And this ain't nothing I gotta put nobody up to. She has her own mind, as you and Trill well know. Yes. Absolutely. So man, that's the thing where, y'all don't have to hear from me all the time. You can be able to hear from my significant other and know that what I'm saying, I'm actually living.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So it'll definitely, yeah, we definitely gonna slide in the Discord after this. I'll be in there after the stream as well. So got that.
Yeah, well, shit, I got to go ahead and get on back to work, man. Finish pulling this cable in. I'm going to get at y'all later.
All right.
Y'all stay easy. Make sure y'all stay safe.
All right, that's a bet. We appreciate the call, man.
All right.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal? We got calling in to the den this evening, afternoon, whatever time it is. Goddamn. Hola, ¿cómo está?
I think we're talking about Simp. I think we're talking about Simps and suckers.
Yes, Simps and suckers. What are your thoughts on Simps and suckers, Mr. Frost?
Well, like I said, where I stand on this is that Simps and suckers, like I said, it pretty much depends on how you put it. Is that honestly, as far as Sierra and Russell Westbrook and Russell, like I said, and Russell Wilson goes, I think that whole thing was blown out of proportion because there's a fine line between being a simp and mostly. And the thing is, I don't think he was being a simp nor a sucker. I think he's pretty much just being a husband as he's supposed to, and compared to what she went through in Future, I always maintain she made the right decision because she got rid of that evil and found her a hero.
But did she get rid of him or did he get rid of her?
Well, technically, he messed around on her and she left him.
Okay. So you feel like Russell's just doing his duty as a husband to make sure his wife is happy, and so you don't feel like that's simpish. So, like in your opinion, what is the definition of a simp? What would be simpish?
Simp, like I said, simping is really much one of those things where it's like simping is pretty much like when you're basically like the submissive type, as in pretty much instead of the relationship being being a level playing field, it's pretty much like she has the higher ground and stuff. And pretty much, from what we've seen of them is like neither of them are the controlling type. The controlling type. It seems like they have an even playing field.
All right. Well, okay. That's a different perspective than I heard. So what about you, Mr. Frost? Do you have a simp story?
Well, as far as I go on that, like I said, pretty much I've been, let's just say, as far as being a simp and sucker, not too afraid. I think pretty much not too surprised, but like I said, but I've been on the end of that. I've been on the end of that one too many times.
Mm-hmm. So, do you feel like you've changed from the guy that's been on that end of that?
I said mostly. Yeah. I said mostly. Yeah. Cause like I said, because I get along with females. I just can't get a girlfriend.
So, what do you think is the issue with getting a girlfriend?
I really don't know. It's because I really don't know. I just don't, like it's just that ever since I could remember, I've always been one of those people where it's like for some reason or another, it's sometimes not even people always choose to be unreliable. People always choose to be unreliable when it comes to me. It's because I've always been in this situation where it's like. I've always been in a situation where it's kind of like I meet a girl, we talk for a while, seem like things going well, and then they disappear on me, and then I meet the next one, and then that cycle goes again, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And like I said, I really don't. The complete victim here is because I will admit some of those instances were on me, but literally about 98% of the time, it's like everybody's always disappearing on me. and to this, and like I said, and of course, like I said, I may sound a bit cocky here, but I always maintain to this day that I always consider myself a female's biggest missed opportunity.
So, would you consider yourself a nice guy, Mr. Frost?
I like to think so. I like to think so, but also at the same time, it's like when it comes to guys nowadays, or even back in the days, it's like it's pretty much hard to tell what females want, because I'm pretty sure you know that if you're a nice guy, then people are going to take it for a weakness. But then when you try to be tough, all of a sudden you're an asshole.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, depending on who's viewing you or from what perspective they're viewing you, it could be not the most flattering light. So I could see that. So, like, what would you say was your longest relationship, Mr. Frost?
Yeah, like I said, pretty much as embarrassing as it sounds, my longest relationship was 2.5 months.
Okay. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Embarrassing would be like 2 days. So 2.5 months, there's nothing wrong with that. And what do you think went sour in that situation?
Well, in that situation, let's just pretty much like I said, my ex girlfriend, let's just say she was miles older than me. She was miles older than me because let's just say that. Well, like I said, when me and her first started dating, I was 19, she was 35. So pretty much. I admit, like I said, because we were talking, like I said, let's just say, look, we were talking for a while, and then it was like talking for a while. Then I said, then it was like I said, we didn't exactly just that she was always kind of the type. She was also really the kind of playful. She was kind of like the playful, jokey type, and I was mostly the uptight. I was mostly the uptight seriousness. And then let's just say, and then after a while, she asked me if we wanted. Got to meet in person before we get together. So then as some more time went by, we eventually did meet each other, and pretty much and somehow we managed to hit it, and somehow we managed to hit it off. And then pretty much to get together this, lovey-dovey this, and let's just say I think the reason we broke up is mostly due to too many quarrels, arguments, and disagreements. So let's just say at that time we didn't exactly know each other too well. But oddly enough, after we broke up, we actually learned about each other. Even more. But the weird thing about it is, of course we did have a real relationship. But one of the things that she told me was one of the best parts about it was the sex.
Interesting. And how long ago was that now that you got out of that relationship?
2017.
Okay. So about 3 years ago. And have you been actively seeking, or are you kind of just taking what falls in your lap? Like, what is your goal right now when it comes to dealing with women?
Well, like I said, it's more about the part where you were saying I just look for. It's more of the part where I just look for whatever falls in my lap. Because like I said, I'm always one of the type of people where it's like people always choose to be unreliable when people are unreliable when it comes to me. But people like to take advantage of me.
Okay. Well, so what are you gonna do? I mean, you feel like, are you gonna keep the same mannerisms and allow people to continue to take advantage? Do you have a plan to maybe prevent that from happening, or like what do you if that's a situation that you deal with often, like what do you plan to do to fix that?
I gotta but like, honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I can. Honestly, I don't know what I can do. Can do to fix that? Because like I said before, because you mean, like I said, I know. Like I said, I know who I am. Like I said, I know who I am and what I want. That's more. Like I said, so I don't know what I can do to fix that. Because that's on them. So that's on them.
So ultimately,
one thing, like I said. The thing is, but one thing I always maintain is that, like I said, pretty much, like I said, of course, like I said, in some cases there are rare exceptions, but one thing I always maintain is that, like I said, true love is a myth and it's for suckers.
That's bad. You know, I think it's somebody out there for everybody. But again, I think we got to reevaluate the way, you know, we look at love. Get away from, you know, I think a lot of people have that, like I mentioned, that fairy tale Disney fantasy version of love, and that's not what love is. And I think we've all been, you know, tainted and misconstrued into believing, you know, all this movie Hollywood shit is love, and none of that shit is fucking love. None of that shit matters. And again, it's kind of wasteful. But you know, you as an individual, you're a young man, you got a lot of life to live. You know, I don't want you to seek and find happiness, find somebody you want. So, you know, I think you got to get active, man. I think you got to get active in some decision making. And instead of taking what falls in your lap, I mean, you got to go find what it is you want. If you know what you want and you have that firmly planted in your mind, you got to go find that, man. You got to go after that. You can't let it it's not going to fall in your lap. If you have a specific idea of what it is you want, you got to go after
it. Exactly. If you want something, go after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but then again, you also have to put reality into stuff. Like one thing you should always know is, like I said, we all want things, but it doesn't mean we can have them.
Mm-hmm. I just think it depends on, you know, what it is that you want. Anything. I don't care what it is, because this, especially in America, where we always hear the rags to riches story. You hear some of the most unlikely things happening and things like that. The reason these things happen is because people make, you know, again, decisions, and they're determined and they're focused on that. I believe if it's something that you want and you want it bad enough, you can have it. Anything, well, except for like magic powers or something. Of course, that ain't gonna start flying out of nowhere, but you know, things that are physically possible. Like, I think anything, if you put your mind, you can have that. So.
I'm starting to think you can do no wrong.
No, it's not that. Like, it's just like, man, you know, it's like you gotta look at, like, the world will beat you down, dog. Like, the world will sell you all the negative if you're willing to buy it. Like, they'll tell you all the problem. I mean, everything that we buy, shop, they present you with this problem you have, and this thing cures it. Like, the world is all about problems, dog. But I really believe the solutions to everything are within us. We just have to decide, you know, on what solution we want, on what outcome we want, and really stick to it. It's not going to be easy, and some of it may require changing habits and a lot of that stuff. And that's the biggest thing with people. Like, they don't want to change habits. They want to be able to be who they are and still have everything. It don't work like that. You have to change yourself to become the person that's deserving of those things. And so if you don't make those changes, then of course you're not going to get them. And there's millions of people tell you it don't happen because but they never made those changes. People lie. They'll tell you they did this, and this when they really didn't. To you know, talk you down for something. I believe every person has something special within them. I don't know what each person's special thing is. If it's up to y'all to find it, but I don't believe in giving up on self. I don't believe in doubting self. Like, and I do it, but I have to catch myself and correct myself. But like I said, I just think, man, look, if you got a plan, you're fucking 75% of the way there. If you know what you want, you're 75% of the way there. The rest of the shit is just showing up consistently. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if you got a plan and you know what you want in your head, like if it's a particular woman, if it's a particular whatever, man, you're beating most of the country. And the rest of it is for you to put the action behind it and just do whatever it takes consistently to get that thing.
You're right. I said pretty much. You're absolutely right. I said you're absolutely right. Like I said, and I you're absolutely right. Like I said, and I do that's thing I do believe one of these days I can get something. But the thing, my only thing about it is that look, like I said, I'm always open to marriage one day. Is because I'm not exactly a ladies man, and I can't even do that if I wanted to. But
Stop that talk. Stop. See, that's right there. See, you just went against what I just said. You done just went against what I just said. If you wanted to be a ladies man, Frost, you can be a ladies man. Period. If that's what you want to be, you can be that. You may not be that right now. First part is because you're doubting yourself. You're cutting off your beliefs. And so if you don't believe in it, it'll never fucking happen. But if you wanted to be a ladies man, a little bit of practice, a little bit of effort, a little bit of consistency, you can become a ladies man. If that's what you want to be.
Yeah, I do. I think you're right exactly. But the part that I'm getting, the part that I'm getting at, of course, I want to do that. But at the same time, I don't want to be a hoe.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you don't have to fuck with every lady you engage with. You don't. I haven't. I wouldn't. I mean, sometimes, hey, it's good to have a friend, to have a little company, and they may want more. You don't have to engage in that. You can be a ladies man without fucking all the ladies. A little company, a little entertainment, whatever. You find the ones that are suitable for you, and you deal with them as you see fit. You know what I mean?
Yes, like I said, and when it comes to my purpose, the women, I can, like I said, I'm the third. Like I said, I prefer older women.
Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Me too. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, so like I was saying, and yes, like I said, but what I was trying to say before is that, like I said, I think one thing that may be a deal breaker for most women is that like I said, I would want to do marriage one day, but the thing is, I don't want kids.
You don't want kids?
No, I do not.
I mean, hey, I think there's a lot of women who are all that. And Heidi, hey, because I love America, that's why I went to Conference USA. I turned down the Big 12. I turned down the SEC for America. So you better remember that, Heidi. But no, man, there's a lot of women now. There's a lot of women now who are with the no kid train. So, look, I'm telling you, Frost, man, look, until you start believing in yourself, I believe in you. And I'm going to start harassing you. So when I see you in the stream, I'm going to start harassing you, working on it. Like, especially you're young, and the reason why I'm saying this, though, like, I wish I was provided with information I found later in life, earlier in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish somebody would have just told me something. And honestly, there was one person who told me some of this shit at one point, but I thought they were batshit crazy. and they were probably one of the most successful people I knew once I realized what the fuck was going on. But, so, it's just like, man, like everything you want is there. You got a plan. Like I say, you sound like you got it together. Just go after everything you want, Frost. Don't sit here and say I can't be this or can't be that. You can have any and everything you want. Maybe you haven't had it before, but you can have it now.
You're right. I said you're right. You're right, Miss John. You're right, Miss John. Like I said. And like I said, and pretty much on that though, like I said, pretty much one of the things the thing I would pretty much like to end with is that, like I said, as far as the ladies goes, up pretty much the only thing I would really want to say to them is like they really should stop confusing goodness. They really should stop confusing goodness for simp, pretty much goodness for simp. Because like I said, because if you keep doing that, then you're quickly gonna find out why you can't get a man, let him know keep one.
I agree. All right, well, I cannot disagree with you there, Mr. Frost. I appreciate you calling in. We're going to get ready to wrap it up after this one. So I thank you for, ending on a good note, man.
All right. Peace to you, Honcho. Peace to everybody else.
All right, Mr. Frost. Here we go. All right, so it's about that time. And again, I was just looking at the thing. I know there's some folks who were trying to get in and weren't able to. And I apologize for anybody who may have been on hold. But I'm going to slide immediately into Discord. If you guys want to continue to have this conversation, let me put the link up for you. Because it actually started in the Discord earlier today. And you know how the Discord works, voice chat, all that good stuff. Everybody can chime in. You ain't got to wait. You ain't got to call in. You can get in and speak, your piece. Matter of fact, let me just do it like this. I'm already in this bitch. I'm first. You know, first is the worst. Second is the, that was a stupid fucking kid saying first is the worst. I hate that saying. What the fuck? No, fuck you. I want to be first every time. That was a loser saying. Second is the best. Hey, it's the first of the losers, asshole. What are you talking about? All right, let me put this link in here. Hey, a little forceful penetration ain't never hurt nobody. All right, it's time for me to get off here. Man, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. I fucks with y'all, then folk, man. And again, I have been feeling really bad about the last couple weeks. Just the energy was just kind of lagging. Like even during the show, I was just feeling it. And I'm just like, man, I wasn't happy with some of it. I'm thinking this day then thing, you know, it may shake and just depending on how everything pans out. You know, we figure it out from there. But I'm looking forward to where it goes from here. This is gonna be the time, 1 to 3 o'clock, and so make sure you're here. You know, tomorrow we're gonna keep it active. 9 p.m. we will be in the Discord. If you don't join now, 9 p.m. is kind of like that community time. What I'm gonna start trying to do is like have some type of little activity or something goofy we can do. You know, various stuff from karaoke to whatever else. We'll figure it out, right? But so that'll be community time. If you ain't got nothing going, you just want to slide in there. Y'all know how to DNB young people in there all night anyway. So. Make sure you're a part of that. Soft Sports HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Not Soft Sports, fucking the den. I'm early. I'm thinking about Soft Sports. Ain't that a bitch? I never said so. Den Show Live on Facebook, at Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. And one of these days, I'm actually get consistent with this morning Instagram shit. You know, I'll be up every morning doing shit, so I need to start doing something early in the mornings on the gram. But I fucks with y'all, man. I thank y'all for everything. Well, I figured out what's going on with this shit, why it's kind of in and out with this fucking never gonna get that all figured out and everything. But man, I appreciate y'all rocking me all. Y'all been rocking with it for so long, and like I said, we're just gonna keep pushing. With that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all ain't gots to. It's the middle of. I can't use that kind of now. The gots to go home. Just like the middle of the day, people at work and shit. People like, yeah, I want to go home. You ain't got to go home. You ain't, I don't know, maybe go to work. I don't. You just got to get the hell up out of here. I invited y'all to the Discord link in the description, and right there, I didn't send it. Right there, bam. Yeah, yes, and he needs to be. He better be. And so, definitely, if you like soccer, check out the Insert Name FC podcast. He sent me the link. So if you focus on sports, I'll put the link in there on tonight's stream. So Spotify link. So make sure you fucking with that. And with that being said, man. Discord. Now I'm in this bitch right now. Like literally, I'm finna just push the button and start talking in the Discord. So if you ain't there, you missing out. I'm gone. Like the fact that you hear my voice and you know what I'm saying. Like it's just like it's you know what I'm saying. It's just like what's really going down. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And doobly doobly doop doop. I ain't stopped yet. All right.